Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Well, here we are in the dark for round number 9, week 9 of the FMA GT3 series. This week we head to I was going to say fan favorite, Rich, but I think it's a commentator favorite track here. We're in Germany at the NURBURGRING, doing a little bit of WEC layout action. This is Racer Nexus. I'm Rob Campbell in the booth with me tonight, as usual, Richard Swindells. Rich, welcome to the middle of the night here in East Germany.
Well, nice to be here, Rob. I assume you're there. I can hear your voice. I can't see you, but yeah, we're going to do a little night racing here. One of our favorite tracks on the service. We seem to have a very similar taste. This, Road America, are two of our top ones, and it should be a fun night here with the racers from FMA.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the weather conditions here before we head down to the track. Since we're racing at night, it's no surprise that it's relatively cool, 64-degree Fahrenheit air temperature with 18 degrees Celsius air temperature, and then basically the same thing on the track, 64-degree Fahrenheit with 18 degrees Celsius on the track, partly cloudy, humidity not going to be much of a factor, no rain in the forecast here this evening. Next week we're going to head.
Did you see those clouds?
Next week we're going to head to Oschersleben. It's going to be a drastically different track here as we see Justin Welsh heading off track. Justin Welsh, the sponsor for this race here this evening. Rich, he's the one that's put us into the dark here in Nürburgring.
Yeah, but thank you, Justin, for sponsoring tonight's race. This league, FMA, is free, and all these broadcasts and the racing facilities are paid for by donations from the racers themselves. So thanks, Justin.
Absolutely. And again, we mentioned every week, if you're interested in joining the league, you can find the Discord link for the league in the description of the video. They'd love to have you in and see you out here on track, racing with the rest of the drivers we see on track here this evening. Although I guess you're just going to see their headlights more than anything.
Hey, Rob, speaking of that, I last week, not in a broadcast race, but I joined FMA for a little IndyCar racing on Thursday night. So that was a lot of fun, joining the guys I get to commentate on week in, week out. And a lot of them kind of dusted me, as you say.
Give the old slip and slide. IndyCar, where was that last week, Rich?
We were at the Indy Road.
IndyCar
is an Indy Road course. And I finished mid-pack, and I finished on the lead lap, so I didn't embarrass Racer Nexus.
There's a first time for everything, I guess, Rich. We got some drivers sharing their cams here this evening. Let's hop. Oh, we have 4 of them. I'm not sure who the last one is there. It's a little cockeyed. We're going to have to figure that out. But 4 drivers sharing their cams here this evening. We'll see them all up on the track as we get going here a little later on. So keep our eye on them. I'll see if I can find out who the mystery driver is here tonight, Rich. Say it's Kevin
it's always a
Schulman.
mystery. Nice. It's always good to have another racer show up.
Yeah, so that's going to fill up our 4 camera spots for this evening. So thank you to Kevin for hopping in. It's always a little tricky there when the drivers hop in at the last second. You got to try to figure out who they are, but we got them all in there now. But before we get any further, Rich, let's take a look at our points championship coming into this one. Drivers' points, we got Anthony Jenkins leading the way, just ahead of Chase Matsko and Justin Walsh, with Uncle Tank in 4th place, just ahead of Zachary Roberto. A little infographic here on the track we're at here tonight, Nürburgring, running the WEC layout, which is the F1 chicane. It's the endurance chicane, not the F1 chicane. The F1 chicane is the tighter one at the end. Opened in 1984, we're running 3.1988, so just under 3.2 miles, 15 corners here this evening. And lastly, we'll take a look at the schedule. As you can see, we're in week 9 at Norwich GP, sponsored by Justin Welsh. Next week we head to Oschersleben, then Spa, and at Road Atlanta. A couple good tracks to end up the season on there, Rich.
Yeah, definitely a nice selection of some of our favorites and some underutilized tracks and newer tracks. So it'll be interesting to see how everything shapes out, Rob.
Yeah, with the drivers that we've had on track, you were mentioning it off camera before we got into the broadcast here, Rich. One of the cleaner leagues that we broadcast, a lot of space given most races amongst the drivers. Nobody really wants to, force the issue, push anybody off track. They're very strict with the penalties too as well, so I think that helps to keep the driving very clean on track, and it's always nice to see. It's what you like to see at a league. You hate to get into a league and they just kind of let everybody it's like a Royal Rumble, fend for yourself out there.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of discipline shown, and like you said, I think a lot of it has to do with the stewarding, and they're being very strict on their rules. It certainly makes it a lot of fun knowing you can throw it into turn 1, and the person beside you is going to race you clean 99% of the time here.
Exactly.
Usually, if there's any issues, it's just an accident, and nobody's trying to do that.
You hit the nail on the head there, Rich.
Once in a while, it happens, Rob.
As qualifying just coming to an end here, we got about 15 seconds left to go. Currently, Uncle Tank leading the way in qualifying here, Rich. 154.13. Just actually almost identical lap times between he and Brock Morris, only separated by 4/100ths, I believe, the two of them. 4,000th between the two of them. So it's going to be interesting to see how they sort themselves out here. As there we go, qualifying has ended, and we're now in the dark. So we'll wait for the grid to get themselves sorted out and on a track. The drivers get sorted out on track. And while they do that, we'll take a look at the grid here. But give us a little idea, Rich, of what to expect at Nürburgring. I know it's one of your more favorite tracks, so I suspect you're going to have a little bit of insight here.
It certainly is. I think we're going to see turn 1 is at the end of a long downhill straightaway, and it's I think if there's going to be any issues, that's where it's going to be. But let's go and take a look at the starting group. Mr. P1 is Uncle Tank, Brock Morrison 2nd, Anthony Sorrentino 3rd, 4th we have Marshall Crocker, 5th Anthony Branco, and Anthony Jenkins in beside him. Row 4 is Chase Matsko, Matt Mars in P8. Row 5, we've got Alexander Zugig and our sponsor tonight, Justin Welch. Row 6 is Jeremy Eschleman and Jamie MacArthur. Row 7, we've got Jacob Brown and Price Brown. Oh, 2 Browns. In row 8, we've got Adam Lowe and James Tankersley. A couple of Tankersleys here tonight. Kevin Schulman and Travis Roberto round out row 9. Row 10, we've got Mike Sakar and Michael Lemanchik. And rounding out the field tonight, we've got Steven Zabster and Joseph Spillman in row 11. But anyways, Rob, back to this track. Lots of elevation changes. You got different sections. You've got chicanes. You got tight corners. You got off-camber corners. You got lots of dirt. All kinds of different things here at this track. So it's got a little bit of everything in a nice layout. I really love it. I think the racers are going to like it too.
Yeah, it's I don't know what it is. It seems to be a track that some leagues seem to shy away from racing at, Rich. So it's nice to see when we do get a league that wants to pop out here to Germany and do a little bit of racing. It's always a fun track. I think it's a good track because there's a lot of overtaking opportunities too as well. It's not one of those Formula One tracks, where it's basically single file for the most part, and qualifying is of the utmost importance. But our field heading to the to the start line here now, and we are away. Green flag is out. Uncle Tank and Brock Morris going to lead them down into turn one. Uncle Tank going to have the inside line where Brock Morris trying to make the move around the outside, but Sorrentino and Matsko right up in there too, but 2-3 wide. Oh man, looks like Justin Welsh, our race sponsor, had to go out wide to avoid some incidents, and Anthony Jenkins make it through, but I think that might have been Jamie MacArthur that got spun around early on. It was one of the Porsches, or maybe it was Mike Sakar. No, it was Mike Sakar, Anthony Jenkins. I'm not sure. One of the Porsches was off on the far side there, Rich. I didn't quite catch who it was.
Yeah, I think that was Jamie MacArthur because he's moved right down to the back of the field. So unfortunately, Jamie MacArthur getting caught up in that, gets spun. He's back to the back now, but everybody else looks like they are underway. Take a look at Uncle Tank, Zachary Tankersley leading the charge here. He started on pole. Anthony Sorrentino in behind him. He's up one position. Brock Morris dropped one. It's 1, 2, 3, a little bit safe, but in behind Chase Matsko in fourth is up 3 positions already. Anthony Branco in fifth, and then in behind him, Alexander Zugig also up at 3 positions. So a lot of changes going on as we watch Sorrentino getting past, and Sorrentino in third. Brock Morris up ahead, Uncle Tank. So a little bit of battling going on this first lap, Rob.
Yeah, we saw, as you mentioned there, on board with Sorrentino, as he for a moment there had gotten himself up ahead of Brock Morris, but Morris took that spot back up into second place. Now we see, it looks like Matsko trying to make a move on the inside of Sorrentino. A couple sharp looking paint jobs on those cars, I gotta say, Rich. Hard to see them in the dark, but the little bit of light we do get, very sharp. I like the skull in flames on the side of Matsko's machine. I kind of wish we were in a day race here so we can really get the full effect of that.
Yeah, well, we've got what we got as we're coming down to complete lap 1 here. Most of the drivers getting through relatively cleanly, going down the straightaway. Take a look, Matt Mars in our camera, always a great view. On board now with Matt Mars coming into corner 1, going way out wide. This is the problem. This multiple lines are here, but you really want to go out wide, maximum your thing. Get about wide to the left. Looks like Matt's having a little battle here right now, and with Alexander Zugig up ahead. Matt Mars up 1 position, Zugig up 3 positions. So Zugig getting it done early.
Yeah, nice move by Zugig. He would have the biggest mover and shaker so far if it wasn't for Travis Roberto and Mike Zakar, who are both up 5 spots in 13th and 14th place. So we know Roberto had to start at the back of the pack, so he's been moving his way through. He has one of those end-of-line penalties from last week. He and Marshall Crocker.
I was going to say, I think Zakar may have had one as well, but I could be mistaken. I know he had a good race last week.
Yeah, all 3 of them, Crocker, Roberto, and Zakar, were end-of-line penalties from last week. As we see, Justin Welsh off into the kitty litter off on the left side. He's going to get it turned around and back on track. He's going to fall in behind Kevin Schulman. Wait for an opportunity to get himself back on track instead of coming right into the middle of traffic. That's what we'd like to see, but unfortunately going to cost him a couple more spots.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Justin, but certainly getting his TV time with his sponsorship deal, but not for the right reason. But lots of racing left to go. 41.5 minutes still to go as we watch this good 3-car battle. Look at this. Zugig going up the inside. Alexander Zugig on a charge. A nice move.
Yeah, a little bit of elbows out, argy-bargy racing there between Zugig and Matsko. Matsko had to go off track a little bit, not to get caught up in Zugig, but I don't think we saw Alexander Zugig last week at Olton Park. It looks like he came to play here tonight at Nürburgring, Rich.
Yeah, that is for sure. He's trying to make up for lost time as he's, look at that. AMG just getting all squirrely under braking. He's getting so much braking going down that hill. We go back up here with Brock Morris. Brock Morris still holding off Anthony Sorrentino. Meanwhile, Uncle Tank loving that battle behind him. He's got just over a second lead on these 2 in behind. That's what I mean, Rob. But look at this track. I mean, you've got the left and right, uphill, downhill, on camber, off camber. It's got a little bit of everything as we take a look from the cockpit view of Uncle Tank. Zachary, what am I doing, Rob? I'm just messing it all up. I love this little section here. A little bit of a horseshoe We're, that's the man. You've got that nice little section here, and here we're coming up to towards the last half of this race. You got this little horseshoe here that's coming around. You can get this a little bank, so you can use a lot more power than you think, and because it's uphill, all the weight transfer is going to the rear wheels. Uncle Tank getting the job done.
Yeah, Uncle Tank, again, our only Aston driver this week. I think he's actually been the only driver to drive the Aston all season in this league. Maybe he knows something these other guys might need to grab a hold of, Rich, as Uncle Tank been doing strong the last number of weeks. He's been able to open up that gap on Brock Morris and Anthony Sorrentino as they battle for second and third in behind. Now 1.4 seconds, almost on 1.5 seconds here for Uncle Tank.
Yeah, he's done quite well, but we're going to go back to take a look at Anthony Sorrentino, still having a good battle with Brock Morris. They've kind of flip-flopped positions once or twice, but they're back where they started. Brock Morris barely holding on to the lead over Anthony Sorrentino, applying all kinds of pressure. A little further back, we've got a big line of cars, all nose to tail right now, nobody being able to make any moves. Opportunities present themselves at the end of this straight, but everybody's a little too far back to make any lunges.
As we hop on board here with Marshall Crocker, finished second last week in behind Roberto. It got a little interesting at the end as he started to chase down Roberto, with Roberto making a mistake here or there. I thought maybe we were going to get a little battle, maybe one more lap, and it would have come down to that. But Crocker moving to the inside of Chase Matskowitz can move him up into 9th place. He has Matt Mars now just up ahead of him, and Anthony Jenkins. So we'll see here if Crocker able to chase them down. But Matt Mars, we haven't seen him in a number of weeks. He's back tonight, currently in 8th place. Nice run for him so far.
Yeah, 8th, he qualified 8th, so doing a good job tonight so far. Matt Mars always having a beautiful livery, always quite happy and proud to share his in-car camera. I love his racing setup. It looks kind of similar to mine, actually, in some respects, but I don't have those good camera angles.
We pick up our 4th driver sharing a cam here tonight. It's Kevin Schulman, as he is in a battle right now with Jacob Brown, trying to hold off Brown to hold on to his 17th place position. Brown trying to take that away. See Schulman getting up a little bit on the curbing there. A little harder to drive in the dark here, Rich. You get some blind spots. Sometimes you can't quite see the curbs or how far the track extends out to you. So as you can get a good shot of the monitor that Kevin's using, see he's probably got the brightness turned up a little bit there, trying to maximize as much as you can see on track. But even then, it's still very dark in some portions of the track out there with no lighting.
Yeah, well, I mean, and none of these cars, Rob, to the best of my knowledge, have a turn signal stock or a high beam switch. So the lights is what they got. They can't turn it up any brighter, so they got to make do with the visibility they have. But Anthony Sorrentino still in 3rd place. He's falling a little bit behind Brock Morris. Is open about a 1.2 second gap. I think Brock Morris is. Whoa, we take a look at what happened here with Kevin Schulman. Unfortunately, he did a little bit of a spin exiting the final corner.
Like just after we went away from watching him, Rich, he got wrapped up in something. Let's see if he had any help. Oh, he did get a little help from the BMW of Jacob Brown. Unfortunately, that's going to spin him around and send him off track. He'll have to gather it up, try and mount another charge, but still plenty of time to go. We still got 36 minutes to go in this one, Rich. Plenty of time. They still owe us a pit stop, as I don't think we've seen anybody in yet. Not even anybody that's been involved in any incidents has come into the pits. So all of our drivers still out there running from the green flag.
That's what we want to see. Take a look here at Marshall Crocker Jr. Well, we're going to go a little further up the field, up to Anthony Jenkins. Anthony Jenkins in 7th place. Anthony Jenkins starting to apply all kinds of pressure to Jeremy Eschleman. So far, Eschleman doing a good job holding him off. Eschleman in the Corvette, Jenkins in the Porsche. We'll see who's going to get the best of each other here as we come down this long, little sweeping corner, going uphill. You have the left-hander coming up here, going into the chicane. Little chicane is not as big as, like I said, the Formula One. And this is always an interesting corner, Rob. You want to get up close to that curb, right up to the edge of it, but you don't really want to put the right tires on that right curb, gets the car off balance going into that right-hander. Jenkins applying pressure, but Jenkins applying all the pressure he wants. Eshelman at this stage is doing a good job of holding him off.
As he's going to make the pass actually on Eshelman into turn 1. Just going to move him up into 6th place. Alexander Zugig 3.4 seconds down the track. We saw him moving in a hurry early on, Rich. Kind of stalled out a little bit here. He's got Anthony Bronco 2.06 seconds up the track. And then Anthony Sorrentino, who's fallen back a little bit now off Brock Morris. So we'll see if the two Anthonys here. Actually, we got 3 Anthonys in this league.
Oh.
So they're almost 1, 2, 3 on track here. Well, I shouldn't say 1, 2, 3. They're almost one after the other here on track. If Jenkins gets around Zugig, we'd have them all lined up on track.
And if we could get Jenkins in between Sorrentino and Barranco, then we'd have a Porsche sandwich with Ford bread. But that's a first for me, Rob. I've never seen 3 of the same first name in any racing, and it's not like one's called Tony on here. They're all Anthony's. So we're gonna go back up to the front. Uncle Tank doing a great job. Started first, still is first. Got a 1.2 second lead over Brock Morris in behind. Starting to spread out at the front now. Sorrentino was looking to move forward, but now he's got Anthony Barranco all in his in rearview mirror. So Barranco starting to apply some pressure to Sorrentino. 2 Fords battling it out.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. I was just thinking, Rich, maybe we need to give these Anthonys a nickname. We need to call one Tony, one Anthony, and one Ant. We'll just sort them all by nicknames. But we got a battle here between Mike Zakar and Price Brown. Brown, one of our new drivers here. I don't think we've seen him yet this season, so welcome into him. He's driving the BMW just ahead of Mike Zakar. Jamie MacArthur right there too as well. So that BMW of Brown trying to run away from Zakar and MacArthur. That's a battle for 12, 13, 40. Oh, Zakar sends it in deep into turn 1, and he's going to get into the back of Price Brown, but I just heard him immediately come on comms and let him know he's going to give that position back, but unfortunately he's still going to lose a couple spots to Lowe and MacArthur as they were able to make their way around.
Yeah, that was not deliberate. We've seen a lot of racing before, and that certainly wasn't what was intended, but unfortunately those things do happen. Good sportsmanship dictates. Well, yeah, I just missed his braking point there, Rob. The rotors are all heated up and just couldn't get that car stopped in time, but gave that spot back at the first available opportunity. Good sportsmanship. That's what you see in FMA. People are going to make mistakes from time to time. It's what they do to in the aftermath. As we take a look at Marshall Crocker Jr., 8th place. So Jeremy Eshelman up ahead of him. Crocker Jr. really on a charge now, Rob. Looking to maybe get himself up towards the front after finishing on the podium in his first race with FMA last week.
Yeah, looking to build off that success last week. And then in the inlay, we see a battle here between Roberto, Matt Mars, and Chase Matsko. A few of the admins in the league here battling it out on track. Tooth and nail, Rich. No quarter given by any of these guys. As you see them just in behind that battle between Crocker. Looks like Matsko going to come out the victor of that, with Mars holding into the meat of this sandwich, admin sandwich here, with Roberto trying to find his way up and around them.
Nice paint job. Did you see that, Rob?
Yeah.
Let's go back to the side of that car.
Yeah,
first time I noticed it. It's so dark out there.
I saw Matt's paint
earlier.
I think
that's our logo.
Yeah, he sent me a picture of it a couple weeks ago, but he just hadn't been on track. But he's sporting the Racer Nexus logos. That's one way to get yourself a ton of TV time.
Well, yeah, that or sponsor the race. So one way or another, Matt Mars getting her done. And he looks like he's wearing some camo today, and he's got some flashing red lights in his. Man, that's rather blinding.
That is, I actually have that same setup. It's the he's got Philips Hue lights, and then how you would have the radar to let you know car one side or the other side, so it'll flash on one side to let you know the car is over there or not. You don't even really notice it after a while, but it can be distracting at first.
I've got those lights, but I took them off when I moved. I took them off my rig and I never put them back on because I see how this is going. A little bumping and grinding, a little bit of slipping and sliding. I can't believe Bryce Brown managed to keep that car on the road because Bryce Brown and Justin Welch banging fenders.
Yeah, we saw Bryce Brown get into it with Mike Zakar earlier, and now he's taking it from another Porsche, Justin Welch. So that BMW gonna have Porsche emblems all over the front and rear bumpers of that thing tonight, Rich, by the time he gets off the track. But up front, we got a battle brewing as Uncle Tank has been reeled in by Brock Morris. That gap now only 6/10. So now Uncle Tank, he for the most, what have we, 25 minutes this, or sorry, 15 minutes of this race, he's been out front comfortably, hasn't had much pressure, Rich, but now Brock Morris in behind him going to be trying to look to take that position away.
Yeah, Brock Morris, certainly a driver with a lot of pace, Rob. Had the pleasure of racing against Brock on Thursday night. Not only is he great at GT3 cars, he won the IndyCar race, so definitely know he's got some pace, and he's on the hunt looking at Uncle Tank. Uncle Tank, though, doing a good job thus far. He's led every lap so far. We're on lap 9. I predict about 23, 24 laps, about 16 minutes into this 45-minute race.
As we have a look back here from Uncle Tank at Brock Morris, and I could second that Brock Morris is quick in an open wheel car. I did the, what do they call it, grip and slip race. I think it's on Friday nights. It was in the old Lotus 79 at Red Bull Ring. And let's just say he spanked me. He was probably about a second, almost a second lap quicker than my best time. Albeit it's the first time I ever drove that car, but still, he very, very quick in an open wheel car is Brock Morris. And we're seeing that he can do it here in GT3s as well as he's trying to chase down Uncle Tank.
Yeah, well, he's in the Corvette. I wish that was like the convertible, or at least target top. He could take the roofs out. It would be, it'd be kind of like, an open seater, not open wheel. But hey, Brock Morris doing a good job. But Uncle Tank still holding him off. He's, about 6-7 tenths back. So Uncle Tank doing a great job leading from start. Now that he sees the pressure, I think maybe Uncle Tank's starting to push it a little harder here, Rob.
Yeah, he's going to have to find a little more pace. Taking a look and see the last laps by Tankersley with a 154.2, Morris 154.01. Morris also has the quicker best lap of the race with a 53.89 to Tankersley's 54.01. So actually it was Uncle Tank's lap before this last one, which is quickest lap of the race. So he's trying to pour it on here when he needs to, Rich, once he's been caught. But he's going to need to find a little bit more here, I think, to potentially stay ahead of that Corvette with Brock Morris behind the wheel.
Yeah, they're so evenly matched. Their last lap, Rob, they just completed. They were apart by only 1/100th of a second in time. But take a look down on the inset. We've got Justin Welch. Justin Welch chasing along behind him, Mike Zakar. Up on the main screen, folks, Uncle Tank, Brock Morris in their battle for the lead. Brock Morris on the inside, and he clips Uncle Tank. Uncle Tank's off. It looks... And that's what it looked like to me. I don't think Uncle Tank went around on his own, but maybe catch a replay.
We most certainly can here, Rich. Let's go to the chopper cam, see what had a look here. Oof. I think that was just more or less a racing incident. Looks like Morris was on the inside. I think Uncle Tank thought he had a little more room there than what he did, and unfortunately a little bit of contact in the way around he went, but he's only fallen down to 4th place, so still plenty of time for him to try and mount a charge back up towards the front.
Yeah, that's a tough break, but we've got more racing to go. Alexander Zugig coming up, throwing it up the inside. My goodness, Marshall Crocker Jr. on a tear, looking to get one more move done. Backs out at the last second because there's nothing to be had there. Alexander Zugig doing a good job of defense.
It's Uncle Tank defending against Zugig, Rich. I know we're in the dark, so...
I can't see, bro. I can't see. I feel like Stevie Wonder broadcasting here.
Maybe I need to pull Stevie Wonder in for the next night race instead of Richard Swindell's here. Let's go on board here with Alexander Zugig. It's kind of interesting that some of these cars have ambient lighting inside the cabin and then some of them don't. I wonder if that... I can't remember the last time I've driven at night to really know if I even noticed it. But it gives you a little bit of extra lighting on the inside. I wonder if it'd be more of a distraction on your monitor versus not having it.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Rob, but anyways, Alexander Zugig falling along behind Uncle Tank. Uncle Tank trying to get back to where he was Meanwhile, Brock Morris got himself about a 1.3 second lead over Sorrentino. The other Anthony Barenko is a couple seconds back of them, and then we have Uncle Tank. So right now, Rob, they're kind of a little bit spread out in the top three, but Uncle Tank probably not too thrilled with what happened. Whether that little bit of contact as they went side by side, so he's on a charge wanting to get back in a podium position.
Yeah, after all that, he's only 5 seconds back of Brock Morris. So, you know, all in all, getting spun off track, having to get yourself collected back on track. That's more or less a perfect scenario there if you are going to get spun, Rich, to try and minimize the amount of time lost or damage done. But we got a battle back here. We've got Justin Welsh trying to make a move on Adam Lowe with Mike Sakar in tow too as well. A couple Porsches trying to get it around the Ferrari of Lowe.
Oh.
Welsh sticks it up the inside. Our race sponsor for that, he's going to give Lowe an extra little bump off the side just to make sure that pass is done and dusted. But oh man,
no!
Sakar going to go around.
Get spun around.
It looked like he might have kept it off the wall though too as well here, Rich.
Yeah, I think, I mean, we've covered a lot of FMA races, and we've each raced one ourselves, and a little more incidents here tonight. I wonder if the darkness is catching the drivers off guard to see a little bump going on the inside. Then they go side by side, and yeah, it almost looks like Mike's the car kind of turned left, but there was a car there, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe there was a little bit of net code. You know, sometimes you get the net code, it just kind of sucks the cars together. It almost looks like that might have been what happened, because the car would have been too early to turn into the corner there. So I'm wondering if maybe that was the issue. So we got a couple drivers in for their pit stop here. We got Sorrentino and Mars. First couple cars coming in to get some service done here, Rich, as we've entered the fuel window.
Yeah, it's a little earlier than I would, Rob, but perhaps they think they're going to do better if they get themselves some open track, and open track they should get by coming in early, getting out there when most of the other cars are, you know, 30, 40 seconds up the road, depending upon how long these pits cycles take.
Yeah. We'll see if some more drivers come in here over the next few laps. But Brock Morris continues to open up that gap over Barenko now, as Sorrentino popped in for his stop now. 3.4 seconds separating first and second place. But Alexander Zugig now putting a ton of pressure on the back of, or sorry, that's Uncle Tank putting pressure on the back of Zugig now. So Tank trying to recover. First on his list is getting around Zugig. Looking to the inside. Zugig going to go to defensive on the outside in that Red Bull car. Unfortunately for Uncle Tank, it's going to come back to Zugig's favor as they head through the next corner. But it looks like Uncle Tank going to power around the outside using that British-made machine with German horsepower under the hood to get around the German mark of Zugig.
Well, we know it has to have somebody else's engine. I don't think Aston's ever been known for making anything that moves, except for maybe to the bottom of the river. But they make beautiful looking cars, Rob. I mean, they may not make engines, but they make beautiful looking cars. And Zachary Tankersley, Uncle Tank, doing a good job of getting one of those positions back as we take a look at Alexander Zugig coming into the pits.
Yeah, Zugig going to pull off. Decides he's going to come in and get his service done. Now that Uncle Tank's gotten around him, probably a good choice. Try and relieve some of the pressure. But speaking of pressure, we've got Jeremy Eschleman with Chase Matsko and Travis Roberto in tow. It looks like pretty much Matsko and Roberto kind of been working together, trying to get up through the field here, Rich, as we've seen them pretty much nose to tail all the way through here. And basically once one gets around a car, the other one gets around very shortly after.
Yeah, well, Travis Roberto from this season and the parts that we covered last season, Rob, has shown a lot of pace and looking to advance. We're not surprised to see him. Chase Matsko also usually has some good pace, and right now those two drivers, like you said, look like they're working together. Right now, though, Roberto falling along behind Matsko, who's falling along behind Eschleman, coming down this hill into the right-hander, big banking corner. You want to use all the power with somebody off the track there? Am I seeing things there, Rob? But still, these cars going nose to tail. Here is a little bit of a lift. Got this left-hander up onto the curb. Use the curb on the right side. Now they're going up into this very difficult left-hand corner here, Rob. Always find this, you got to hit the braking zone just right. You want to use all the track, get up on the curb, get back up on the curbs. Now you got to open it up. As they watch, they're opening it up. These three cars still going nose to tail, going down this long kind of straightaway with a little bit of a kink before they enter the chicane.
As we watch the battle on board here with Roberto on the main screen, and then the inlay, we've got the TV cam with this battle, as it is the closest battle on track. So we'll stick with this one for a little bit. We'll see if maybe one of these drivers pull in to relieve some of that pressure. As we see, it looks like Roberto or Matsko trying to make the move underneath Eschleman. Down the front straight they go. Will Roberto try and make it 3 wide, Rich, into turn 1? Looks like Matsko going to get out, get that spot. Now, is it a matter of Roberto going to try and pass them both on the inside? No, he backs out at the last second.
I thought he was going, if he went up the middle, that would have been real fun to watch. But as he dove up the inside, and right now, all that's done is we got Chase Matsko, Travis Roberto, Jeremy Eschleman. 3 cars still kind of nose to tail. Eschleman, though, now at the back of this pack.
Yeah, we'll see now if he can mount a charge back against Roberto and Matsko. I just noticed Roberto not in the Lamborghini this week. I think that's the first time we've seen him not drive the Lambo all season from what I can remember, but my memory is about as good as about 30 seconds in the past. So I'll rely on Richard Swindells to follow up on that one for me.
And that's about 15 seconds longer than mine, so we're quite the team.
We got a couple more drivers in the pits. Adam Lowe and Jacob Brown have both come in to complete their fuel service. So now it looks like basically everybody below the top 11 have come in for their fuel service. So we'll start to see here a little bit of overlap and see whether those drivers that came in early, Rich, if it worked out to be an advantage for them or not.
It'll be interesting to see how long the pit cycles are taking the drivers too, because Zugic, who is having a good race, he seems to be a few seconds slower on pit lane than Matt Mars and Adam Lowe, Jacob Brown, and something happened with Anthony Sorrentino, Rob. He was in the pits 1 minute and 3 seconds, so I think he may have had a penalty.
That sounds like a speeding on pit road or unsafe entry. It can be easy to get an unsafe entry here. Nürburgring has that very, very short pit entry where you're coming right off the last corner. You really got to dart in. There's not a whole lot of room before you get to that line, Rich. So I'm going to say it's going to be probably either one of those that's got him that penalty. So it's unfortunate for him, but we'll see if he's able to move himself up through the field. We know he has the pace. He's been running up in the top 5 majority of the race. So we'll see what positions he can gain back. As in behind Roberto, we got a battle here again between Eschleman and Matsko. As we saw it 2 laps ago, Matsko and Roberto were able to get around Eschleman. Now he's mounting the charge back, trying to get one of those spots back from Chase Matsko.
Yeah, nice to see him while that's going on. Anthony Jenkins is also starting to get into this little bit of a mix. I think he's just a little bit behind. So Jeremy Eschleman, Anthony Jenkins in behind him. Up ahead of them is Chase Matsko. So it looks like we're going to have a little 3-car battle going on, and Travis Roberto's trying to put a little distance and maybe close the gap to Marshall Crocker Jr. up ahead.
Now we'll see if maybe when this turns into a 4-car pack, Rich, if maybe they can work together and, as you said, chase down Marshall Crocker. But we know from last week, Crocker has a ton of pace, and right now is sitting very comfortably up in 3rd place, 2.1 seconds back of Uncle Tank. You can see him just off in the distance ahead of Crocker. Very similar lap times between the two of them. Crocker about 1/10 quicker on his best lap, but last time by, it was Uncle Tank with the quickest lap, 1:53.95.
And Rob, can you do me a favor if possible? Can you put the webcam shot of Anthony Jenkins back up for a second?
I most certainly can. I can even give you
Take a look at
all our drivers
Zachary
there, Rich.
Jenkins.
There you go.
Okay, never mind. Never mind. I was just hallucinating. I thought, wasn't he wearing camo earlier? But no, he wasn't that Mars. Never mind, folks. The old man's just seeing things and having some old timers going on as we take a look at Anthony Jenkins coming down pit road.
He has, and just ahead of him, we see one of the BMWs come out to complete their service. I think that might have been, who was that? They just left there. There was. No, that wasn't Brock Morris. Anyways, they came in and completed their service back on track. Jeremy Eschleman back ahead of Matsko, 2.3 seconds. So let's see if we can find out what happened there, because it looks like Matsko had a little bit of an issue that allowed Eschleman to get around him. Oh, that's that Mustang just snapped around on him. So he was up on the curb a little bit, tried to get into the throttle and just snapped around. It's one of those very low speed corners. So the Mustang having so much bottom end torque, it's easy to snap it around out of those slow corners if you get into the throttle a little too heavily. But we got a battle here. Anthony Jenkins and Uncle Tank. That's for 10th and 11th place. So let's see here. You were mentioning Jenkins was starting to catch that battle up ahead. Jenkins 11.68 seconds in and out of his pit stall. Uncle Tank 22 seconds at a stop. I think Uncle Tank took some tires, because that is right in the 4-tire window. So it'll be interesting here to see. He's going to have to work those tires back up to temp. We saw the cold track temps to start the race, so it's going to take him a lap or so to get back up to temp, where Anthony Jenkins still riding on the same tires he started with. He's only going to need about half a lap to get his back up into operating temperature.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that was a mistake on the part of Uncle Tank. I mean, I could understand maybe taking 2 tires, Rob, but taking all 4 on a 45-minute sprint race, it's a lot of time to give up.
Yeah, well, we'll see here. If Uncle Tank can stay ahead until he gets his tires back up to temp, then that probably bode well for him. I'll get an extra couple tenths out of that, and we'll see if he's able to hold off Jenkins. But if Jenkins get around him before Uncle Tank gets those tires back up to temp, it's probably going to be tough for Uncle Tank to get back around him. But right now, he's holding strong. He's actually starting to open up a little bit, as Jenkins was pushing kind of hard, overshot the brake marker for that final chicane, but onto the front straight they go.
Yeah, that all said, though, he lost about 10 seconds in the pits by doing that. So that's a lot of time to make up with only about 15 minutes, after the pit cycle. Take a look at Jeremy Eschleman coming out of the pits. Jeremy Eschleman in 6th place, ahead of Uncle Tank and Anthony Jenkins. So Eschleman, 39.78 seconds. There's the proof right there. I mean, Eschleman comes out ahead, so now Uncle Tank's got himself one more car he's going to have to get through.
Yeah, Roberto got past him, as well as Zugig and Barranco. So he lost about 3 spots in total, with an extra 10 seconds in his stall there, Rich. But we'll keep an eye on how it works out. Unfortunately, they only got about just under 13 minutes to go in this race. So I would say if it was probably an hour race, it might have been an advantage for him. But I think with only about 12 minutes to go, it's probably going to cycle out about the same.
I've got some inside info from Ant Tank. Ant Tank is giving some hints. Whoa, it was with Anthony Jenkins way off. And Anthony Jenkins, causing a little bit of calamity there with Matt Marsden behind you, avoiding catastrophe. But Ant Tank is guessing that he probably forgot to he didn't mean to take tires. He probably forgot to turn that little message to the crew chief off. So take a look at Anthony Jenkins getting out on the dirt, trying to recover, and whoa. Look at that, Matt Mars trying to go up the inside, having hit the binders hard to avoid calamity.
I think that was Matsko that was. He ended up getting around him, actually. It looked like the Mustang, not the BMW. But again, we're in the dark, Rich. We're all Stevie Wonder out here.
Maybe I'll be Ray Charles, and we can at least be 2 different people. Or if you're Canadian, Jeff Healy, we'll call him. Okay.
Up front, though, we've got Anthony Barranco with Alexander Zugig right on his back bumper. And unfortunately, I'm seeing something on timing scoring where Anthony Sorrentino had that penalty heading into the pits. It looks like he's had another episode in the race. So what started out as a promising race for him going by the wayside very quickly.
Yeah, Price Brown also looks like he took a penalty because he was also over a minute in pit lane, or in his pit stall. So a couple of penalties costing some drivers, and James Tankers, they also same type of timing. So you got to watch the speed limits. You got to watch your pit entry and exit, folks. Practice those for next week. Avoid taking that extra time hit that's going to basically throw you out of the running. So take a look. A little bit of picture-in-picture going on. We've got a little drivers going. Alexander Zugig sitting up to 4th place now, up 5 positions on the day. The Mercedes having himself a good race. Zugig He's got himself a battle. He's got Travis Roberto behind. He's got Anthony Branco up ahead.
Yeah, this trio losing time on Marshall Crocker while they continue to battle here, but they got the lap car. I believe that is Price Brown just ahead of him. As you mentioned, a little bit slower pit issue for him. He's going to pull to the side, let that battle through. So hats off to him. Again, welcome into the league. Thank you for a courteous blue flag observation. It's always appreciated, but this battle between Zugig and Roberto, it doesn't look like it's over yet, as Roberto's still trying to find a way around Zugig, getting late onto the brakes into the final corner, trying to get a good run down the front straight. We'll see if the draft plays an advantage here for Roberto into turn one.
Yeah, Roberto, drivers both going to the outside. Roberto now sticking the nose up the inside, going side by side. It is, a little bump and grinding, and see what happens here. They're still side by side, Rob. Roberto around the outside now. Zugig up the inside. Zugig's got the preferred line for this corner, but that's going to flip it around on the next corner as long as Roberto can stay side by side. This is a real, they're going left, right, and Roberto now coming out ahead as they exit this corner. So right now, Roberto holding off Zugig. Now Zugig, oh, look at this, Rob. They're still battling side by side. Look at this tremendous race action. Nobody wanted to give it up. Looks like they're still not giving it up. There we go.
Yeah, if we've learned anything from watching Zugig race this race, he isn't just going to give up that position. He was going to make Roberto work for it, and that's exactly what he did. But up front, Brock Morris, he now has that gap 8 seconds over second place. Marshall Crocker just continues to open up that gap. Crocker looks like he's on pace right now, if everything ends the way it is, to go back-to-back second places here in his first two races in FMA.
You got to mix it up every now and then, Marshall. Anybody can get the same, it's boring. Just kidding. Marshall Crocker demonstrating his great pace once again, with Anthony Branco holding on to a solid third place right now. We're pretty spread out, Rob. 8 seconds between first and second. We got 4.5 seconds between second and third. Another 3.5 seconds between third and fourth, but not too far apart here. Whoa, a little bit of sparks flying, using all the curb going up the inside. These guys still battling hard. Roberto, Zugig putting on a show for us.
I have to think eventually someone's going to give up the ghost here, or it's going to end in tears between these two. But either way, we're here for it, Rich, as they head into turn one with Roberto on the inside, Zugig on the outside. But again, with the corners here just switching back and forth from left, right, that's going to put Zugig on the inside line for the next two corners. Roberto will have the outside. But again, if he can stay at the door of Zugig, he's going to slide off wide.
Run there, I think, Rob. It almost looked like a little bump and run, not on purpose, but I may have missed that, but I missed a lot tonight, so.
Well, you can take another look here, Rich. No, it looked like Roberto just slid out a little wide, unfortunately for him. But we got a battle in behind them too as well, with Jenkins, Mars, and Jenkins, Matsko, and Uncle Tank. Uncle Tank, we know he's took those 4 tires. They're back up to temp here now, and he's been able to hold off the charge from Matsko and Jenkins, as Matsko was able to fend off that move from Jenkins. We know Jenkins has a ton of pace. He's been he came into this one leading the championship, so that just tells you right there how much pace he's had all season here, Rich. But last couple of races haven't necessarily went his way.
Yeah, well, it's tough when you're starting from the back of the line, and every race, nobody wins every race. So Anthony Jenkins continuing to battle hard anyways. He's down 3 positions. He's sitting in 9th place, and definitely not going to have to worry about an end-of-line penalty for next week.
Jeremy Eschleman now quickly has Travis Roberto right up in behind him. Eschleman was able to get around Roberto when he had that little bit of excursion off track. He's now in between Roberto and Zugig. It's the meat in that sandwich with just under 6 minutes to go here, Rich. So probably about 3 more laps left in this one. Is that, am I good? Did I guess here correctly on your timing and scoring?
Yeah, we're on lap 21 and we're going to go 24. So That would be, let me see, 24 minus 21 is 3. You are correct, sir.
Yes. Old math prevails.
Man, I don't know. You had to borrow your wife's fingers and toes to help count all that numbers up, but
Well, I
they're
got
still battling hard here, folks.
I got the dog laying on the couch behind me. I had to borrow one of his stuffies and start counting arms and limbs on it too as well. As we see Jeremy Ushland still trying to hold off Travis Roberto. Roberto getting a little squirrely through that corner. Had to collect it up. Uncle Tank on the inlay. Starting to pull away from Chase Matsko now. He's got that up to 1.6 seconds. So that's where we're seeing those new tires starting to come into an advantage. As Roberto off track, he is flipping and through the air, Rich. That is going to be a race ending for Travis Roberto.
Wow. We got to see a replay of that if there's any light in that corner where that happened, Rob, because I don't know how that happens. When you're by yourself anyway.
Oh, that just looked like a... I'm not sure if that was a connection or hardware issue or what it was, Rich.
Catastrophic brake failure with a throttle stuck, I'm calling, Rob.
I'll back you with that one. As that's going to eliminate Roberto from the race. Anthony Jenkins still setting his sights on Chase Matsko up ahead. That's bound for 7th and 8th place. Matsko been able to put on his ultra defend game here to hold off Jenkins. We're going to have 2 laps to go. Can he hold him off for 2 more laps?
And that'll be interesting, and it'd be quite the accomplishment if he does, and nothing against Chase Matsko. Chase Matsko is certainly a very good driver with a lot of pace, but Anthony Jenkins, our championship leader right now, applying all kinds of pressure. Chase Matsko not afraid, not blinking at all. Right now, Chase Matsko doing a great job with just 2 laps to go after this.
Yeah, Ford versus Porsche. We all know how hard it is to get around that big old Ford. It's wide ass that just doesn't want to let you buy the Porsche, probably the smallest dimensions wise of the GT3, so can slip into smaller spaces. That's what Jenkins is going to need to try and slide around that Mustang of Matsko. We'll keep an eye on that to see if he's able to do it. It's our closest battle on track. Everybody else separated by about 1.5 to 2 seconds. Uncle Tank now 3.2 seconds up the road here from Anthony Jenkins and Chase Matsko, so he is out of harm right now.
Yeah, it's the closest cars, some of the closest cars on track. Anthony Jenkins having himself a good little race with Chase Matsko. Take a look on the inset. We've got Brock Morris, our leader. Brock Morris with a 6.5 second lead. Brock Morris coming around, it looks like the start-finish line, Harvey, yeah. And,
yeah, he just crossed the start-finish line.
Brock Morris on lap 23 now. He's got 1 more to go after this.
Yeah, so he's going to have 2 to go, this one plus 1 more. These 2 drivers here heading to the start-finish line. Matsko and Jenkins. How much longer can Matsko keep Jenkins behind him? Is Jenkins burning up those front tires, Rich? Trying to push and try and find a way around Matsko.
Not a whole lot of weight on the front tires, is there, Rob? It's a Porsche.
There's probably not much fuel in the tank on the front end left anymore.
That's for sure. Chase Matsko doing a good job. Anthony Jenkins realizing time is running out, trying to get that 1 more position, get that extra set of points. Chase Matsko wants none of it. So Chase Matsko sitting in 7th place where he started. Anthony Jenkins in 8th, 2 positions down. But right now, closest battle on the track. Jenkins, Matsko doing the leading so far with that beautiful livery. Now I finally got a good look there in that corner. It was the best view I've had all day. And nice job, Chase Matsko. Still going to have a little bit more work to do, though. He's still got another full lap to hold him off.
And there you go. There's probably about as good a look as you're going to get as of the livery for Matsko there, other than at the start.
Society. Okay. There we go.
You hear that Mustang screaming down the stretch between these 2 corners. Jenkins unable to find a way around. I'm actually kind of surprised. The Porsche is usually very strong here at Nürburgring with the fast, flowy corners. That usually feeds right into Porsche territory. But that Mustang really stretching its legs out on the straights as we see Matsko now open that gap up to almost a second now over Anthony Jenkins. Matt Mars about 5.5 seconds back of this battle as things are getting a little closer up front between Jeremy Eschleman and Alexander Zugig, with Uncle Tank not too far back there either.
Yeah, that could make for a very interesting finish. Right now they're spread out a little bit, but all it takes is one minor error on one corner and they take a look at Uncle, what are we going to call him? Uncle Zachary, as we said earlier, Rob, but Uncle Tank.
Yeah, that's what you said. That's what you said. Don't get me in trouble here, Rich.
We're all on the same team here, Rob. Uncle Tank looking for a good recovery after that unfortunate little incident earlier in the pits, but Uncle Tank applying some pressure here in the Aston. He's applying pressure to the Corvette of Jeremy Eschleman.
Yeah, we are on the last lap now, so time running out here for Uncle Tank to try and get himself up into a top 5 position. Eschleman holding on to that final spot in the top 5. Well, they've battled here the last few corners. That allowed Zugig to open up that gap now to 1.9 seconds ahead of Eschleman. So doing what he needs to do. Now it's a matter of can Jeremy hold off Uncle Tank. Uncle Tank really putting a ton of pressure now on the back, as you see in the inlay too as well. Chase Matsko, he's been reeled back in by Anthony Jenkins, so they're going to have a battle towards the start-finish line too as well. As Uncle Tank looking up the inside of Eschleman. Eschleman going to fight back. That'll give him the inside line in the next corner. We saw Uncle Tank make this pass before in this corner, powered around the outside. Can he do it again?
Yeah, you got to use all of the track and then a little bit of some. Uncle Tank going late on the brakes. They're going side by side, folks. Uncle Tank now has the inside, Eschleman on the outside. Looks like Uncle Tank getting that move done.
Absolutely, as we see our leader Brock Morris across the line to take the win. Oh, Eschleman and Uncle Tank going door to door through the final corner. It's a drag race now to the line. Who's going to take this position? Looks like Eschleman going to hold on to the final step in the top 5. Nice battle between those two drivers down to the end. It looks like Chase Matsko able to hold off Anthony Jenkins too as well. Matt Mars going to come home in 9th, and Jamie MacArthur going to round out the top 10.
Yeah, it's a top 10 finish there for MacArthur. Nice recovery there. Justin Welsh going to be coming in 11th. Our race sponsor tonight down one position, had some earlier issues. Continuing on though, Justin Welsh 11th place. Thanks for sponsoring tonight's race, Justin.
Yeah, rough race for him. He had incident, I believe it was into turn 1. The start of the race, wrapped up in something else later on. So when you he's going to throw the car into the used car lot at the end. But it's rough when you sponsor a race to have one that ends up like that. But again, thank you, Justin, for sponsoring tonight's round of the FMA GT3 series with Mike Zakar heading to the line. And then it looks like we're just waiting for Michael Lemanchik, and then that should round out our drivers on the lead lap and make this one official.
Yeah, Mike Lemanchik doesn't get a whole lot of screen time, but Mike Lemanchik finishing on the lead lap here. 16th place, up 4 positions, racing along in the BMW. Did I get that right, Rob?
Nailed it.
I got something right tonight, folks.
Well, just in comparison, just in point, Michael Lemanchik, our lowest iRating driver in the lobby at 600. So rest of these drivers are 1300 plus, some of them all the way up to 2388, 2365. So he's in some fast company for his rating, but half the job, Rich, is getting the car home clean, and he did that this evening.
Yeah, and on the lead lap. So, and like I said, Rob, last week I barely stayed ahead of Brock Morris to stay on the lead lap. So I understand how tough that is. Good job, Michael Lemanchik, tonight.
Absolutely. We'll take a look at the final results here in 1 second, Rich. But all in all, a night of racing in the dark here at Nürburgring. I think it was a little better than we expected in the dark. We were kind of a little worried at first. Kind of worried how the dark track was going to do, whether we're going to be able to see a whole lot of the cars.
It messed me up.
For the most part, I think it was okay, except for those Stevie Wonder moments that we had.
But yeah, it certainly gave us, and I don't think it had anything to do with it. It was light or dark out. We had some great racing here tonight. A little more incidents than we're used to seeing, Rob, out of the FMA drivers. I don't know whether that was because of the lighting or just because of, hey, incidents happen. But let's take a look at the finishing order here tonight.
Yeah, we have Brock Morris taking top step with Marshall Crocker. The bridesmaid again here tonight, back-to-back races for him. Anthony Barranco going to take the final step on the podium there. You see our biggest mover, Jeremy Eschelman, picked up 6 spots in the race. Most laps led Brock Morris. Fastest lap goes to Marshall Crocker Jr. And Uncle Tank was our pole sitter. So you can see the 22 drivers that participated cycling through on the right-hand side. But you know what, Rich? I think Nürburgring was a success. Looking forward to Oschersleben next week.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun, but it's nice to see one of our favorite tracks give us some great race action. So a lot of fun tonight, Rob.
Absolutely. Looks like we have, let's see, who is in chat here that we can pull in. Let's see if we can bring in Brock Morris, our race winner. Just going to take a find and see if he's in the chat. There he is. Let's bring him in to catch up with Richard Swindells.
Hey, Brock, you got Richard in the booth. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, guys. It was a pretty good race tonight. It was unfortunate about the contact with Zach there, but yeah, I felt like other than that, went kind of exactly the way I wanted it to.
I would gather, yes. It's just a personal question for you, Brock. Is there any car you can't drive? Because you dusted me on Thursday night in the Indy cars. Another great victory here tonight in the GT3. What's your favorite? What do you like to drive the most on iRacing?
Well, in terms of cars I can't drive, for a couple months here, it was these things. I've kind of struggled to get up to speed with some of the really fast guys in this league, but I guess if I had to choose a favorite, I adore the V8 supercars. Anything with high power, low grip, that's all me, baby. So I love those.
Lots of challenge with no traction control and let her rip.
Absolutely. That and like rain racing, any of that, I just adore. So those are probably my personal favorites.
Awesome. I'm not necessarily a big rain guy because, well, I kind of suck in it, but I can usually keep the car on the track. Nice to see you can wheel that Corvette around as well as you wheeled the Indy car. What do you think about next week? You're starting from the end of the line at I can't even pronounce it. Say it, Rob. Say it for me.
Oschersleben.
That's it. You've done much racing there, Brock?
I have not. So it's going to be like Alton Park, starting from the back, and those will be my first racing laps there. So I hope it doesn't go as poorly as Alton Park did, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out tonight too?
Yes, sir. I'd like to thank Kettering Esports, Revved Up Racing. I would also like to thank Corn Dog Designs, and I'd also like to thank my parents.
Awesome. I really love that name, Corn Dog Designs. Awesome. Well, congratulations once again, Brock. We'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you, guys. I'll see you.
Thanks.
That was race winner Brock Morris. Once he got around Uncle Tank, wasn't looking back from there. Let's see if we can bring in our second place finisher, Marshall Crocker Jr. Marshall, that's back-to-back second places for you here to kick off your time in FMA. Are you going to go for the hat trick of second place finishes next week at Oschersleben?
Well, it certainly won't be next week. I am going to be off for a week. I'm away for vacation, but 2 weeks from now. Yeah, like the second place is 10, but I didn't realize there was the EOL rule that if you're on the podium, I guess the week before or top 5 or whatever. I'm like, all right, it wasn't a great qualifying, made a mistake, but we'll figure out 4th. And then I got the little EOL notification. I was like, oh, so I spent the first half of the race on the side scrolling, trying to find that rule, and it's kind of fun. Like it does create kind of a fun, storyline, having the fast guys at the back. There were some absolute burners from 10th place up, so it was a fun race. Just second place might become more common if I gotta start towards the back every week.
Yeah, I think that's so that we don't have the same guys just kind of dominating the race week in, week out. You basically gotta earn it through. But night racing at Nürburgring here. Not a whole lot of lights. You get the lights at the front straight, a couple spots here or there. Did it cause any issues for you at all with the dark spots, not quite being able to see how wide the track was in certain areas, or was the lights of that Mustang shining real bright for you?
There's definitely a piece of it. It's hard having a car right behind you. It is actually quite distracting, like a real car on the road. But the funny one is, with all the high curbing, cars would hit curbs and come back off, and they'd bounce, and it would look like the car behind was flashing headlights at you. So I spent most of the race going like, "What are these guys like? What do these guys want? I haven't done anything." But I figured it out over time. So a bit of a distraction. I know I'm a former broadcaster. I know night races are hard to do, so I give you guys credit. But they're fun. It's a nice change of pace for something different, and definitely visibility passing through the field. It's already hard to see your braking points because there's a car in them, and then even worse when it's dark. So it was a fun challenge.
Yeah, we like to call that the razzle dazzle up here in the booth, Marshall, when you get the headlights shone at you from in behind. But congrats on going back to back here in second place. Enjoy your time off next week, and we'll see you back at. I'm having a little bit of a. I think is it Road America there? Hold on here. I need to quickly have a look here before I make myself out to be. Spa is the week when you come back, so we'll see you back at Spa here, going for the three-peat of second place finishes.
Well, and assuming I assume the week in between, I don't know what the EOL rule is going to be for that, but should I get the ability to start at the front, I look forward to talking to you guys in 2 weeks.
Take care, and again, enjoy the vacation.
Thanks so much, guys. You guys do a great job. Thank you to everybody putting the series together, and we'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
Take care. That was second place, Marshall Crocker. And then let's see, I don't think we've talked to our third place finisher, Anthony Bronco, at all this season. Let's let him catch up with Richard Sindels.
Hey, Anthony, congratulations on third place and podium finish.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, I have my hot mic button still mapped. What's going on, guys?
No, not too much. We didn't have the excitement you did. Nice job on third place in the Mustang tonight.
Appreciate it. Yeah, first podium with the FMA League guys here now. I think this is like my 8th race. This is my first season with you guys, so it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. So what did you think in battling in the dark at Nürburgring? Was that a little different? Have you done much night racing before in GT3?
I have, yeah. I mean, we just did the Rolex, a couple weeks ago. I ran my own team, but I did like 8 hours, and 6 of those were at night. So for me, night racing is just like you just get into a rhythm, and you just click away the laps and you just hit your marks, and you just worry about the lap times will come and fight your battles when you need to and keep it clean.
Well, you certainly did that. You did everything you needed to. Managed to get, like you said, your first podium, your first time in the interview room afterwards. So congratulations. You expect to see next week, you get the honor of starting with an end of line penalty. A little bit of something to go with the third place trophy.
Hey, it is what it is. We'll see what we can do. I've raced at however you pronounce it, Osher Schlockenboben, whatever. But
hey, you and I are on the same page. I just call on Rob and say, "Hey, Rob, how do you say that again?" And this magic voice just says it because I can't say it either, Anthony.
Osher
There you go. Is there? Hopefully, we get to see some good results from you again. It's going to be a little tougher next week, but that's part of the fun of FMA. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to or thank tonight for your first time here on podium?
Thanks to the racers for having a nice, clean, hard-fought race. It was a lot of fun. Thanks to you guys for doing what you do. Thanks to the organizer of the league for putting on a great event. And I look forward to more night races with these guys. We'll see.
Oh, right on. I guess the night races are your jam. We'll see you next week, Anthony, and congratulations once again.
Yes, sir, guys. Thank you. Good night.
That was our third place finisher, Anthony Bronco, and I think he just earned himself a ban from the broadcast booth for cheering on more night racing. Rich, I'm kidding. Well done to Anthony and the rest of our drivers. Again, we'll be back next week at Osher Sleben, but before we sign out here, Rich, let's give a little shout out. Excuse me. Shout out to our channel sponsor, Apex Sim Racing. Find yourself a 5% discount code for them in the description of the video. Yourself 5% off anything they sell in store from their own brand of products, button boxes, accessories, or you can get anything from SimCube, SimMagic, Moza, even chassis and PC systems to get yourself on track racing with the rest of the drivers out here this evening. And tonight's cameras, as usual, been provided by TrackCams for Gourmets, trackcams22.com, providing all those copycat cameras from IndyCar races, WEC racing, IMSA, NASCAR, basically any professional series that's on track. If it goes to that track, we have a similar camera action that you might see on the broadcast. So thank you to them. Rich, till next week, we've been Racer Nexus. I'm Rob Campbell. Richard Swindell's in the booth with me. We'll see you then. Bye for now.
Good night.